Good evening, Speed Gaming. We are live, and I have just now remembered what it is I forgot to do when setting up the stream, which is open up the chat. So give me a moment, chat. I can't see you yet, but we're live. We're here with the Crystalis Randomizer 2025 tournament. I am Code Gorilla. I am joined today by Uranium Anchor. UA, how you doing?
Hello, hello. I have my tea. I'm ready for the race.
Fantastic. Love to hear it. All right, let me get this chat popped out real quick while we get this race kicked off so I can actually see what people are talking about. See, I knew I was missing something. All right. Yeah, we've got Leaf versus Mashma here today. This is one of our lower bracket matchups. Leaf put on a brilliant performance against Show earlier this week, and while Mashma's been waiting for a little while for an opponent, seems like we're off, and honestly, the sync looks pretty good. For once, I don't have to adjust it.
Yep, they actually started at the same time this time. I completely missed if they found anything in the cave. They did get one scaling, so I didn't see what they picked
I
up.
think it was, I want to say Bow of Moon? Which is
completely useless
wild.
scaling.
Yeah.
Okay, so they got Oak Elder, we've got Evans, he teaches etiquette, and the Kensu bar. Okay, so there's a couple interesting things in Leaf. It looked like the Eyeglass Hut as well, because I didn't see anybody in there.
Yes.
So we've got 3 potentially interesting things in Leaf. Although it's pretty rare that Kensu's bar actually ends up mattering in this flag set, so...
Honestly, it's pretty rare it ends up mattering at all. It's like you have to find 3 different houses and 2 different items that you don't need for anything else.
Yeah, so here's something that I've noticed Leaf does a lot. They will save outside of the GBC cave and then immediately run up and check Windmill just so that they know what it is. And then they'll load and then go back to GBC cave. So it's Boathouse, and it's randomized turn-ins because the boat owner wants a pendant. Mashima peeked out. I didn't see if he peeked out long enough to know whether or not that was Brynmere or Rage, though, because they look the same.
Yeah. It's hard to tell at a glance.
Yeah, you have to step out at least a little bit to tell the difference. But it didn't look like Mashama did anything other than step out, or if he did, I missed it. So, Mimic. They're getting pretty bad luck with the initial spots here. Yeah,
what, 2 Mimics already?
Windmill key. Okay.
Windmill key.
Except we don't know where the windmill is.
Yeah, interesting. Leaf is going to have a slight edge here knowing that Windmill is not Windmill. Whereas I could see Mashma thinking, oh, I should just go check Windmill now.
Yeah. Well, if he does that, at least he'll know what it is. Yeah. Generally speaking, I won't check Windmill until I have at least one turn in or at least one thing that could potentially be useful there. It's kind of a preference thing because it doesn't take that much time either one way or the other. And this way you, with what Leaf did earlier, at least now they know what it is. Yeah. Mashima is doing what Leaf did earlier, except he's doing it after getting a pickup.
Yeah, but I tend to agree with you. I don't tend to check Windmill right away, which leads to sometimes I don't check Windmill until very late in the seed because it's just not somewhere that matters.
Okay, so this looks like Rage, which probably means that Windmill is... I'm going to guess Windmill is in the boathouse.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Because that's the only other free place they can reach. There's potentially other things they could find, depending on where Portoa's castle entrance goes. But my guess is that they're going to find Windmill in the boathouse. And
that seems likely to me.
That'll open up 4 checks in the Windmill cave?
Yeah, the one at the very beginning, and then 3 more inside the cave.
I'm not sure what Mashima is doing.
Memeing, I imagine.
Okay, so Brokahana is in Leaf. The Zebu student is... Portoa. The... Zebu student is... Okay, so there is a free check in here, actually. I don't know... Leaf might be forgetting about it. Not sure if it'll matter, but there is one free check in the basement if you can get the pyramid.
Or might not be wanting to bother.
I mean, I've definitely had seeds where that ended up mattering. Okay, it looks like they are going back to check it now.
Yeah,
So.
probably just wanted to go turn in that probable windmill key first, and then go do this check. So that when you're done here, you can wild warp out if you didn't get anything.
That's not a fun enemy set. Not the worst, but that was not a fun enemy set either. I think that might have been the first warp boots they've seen. I blinked and missed what Leaf picked up, but it sounded important.
Yeah, it played the fanfare.
I guess we'll just keep an eye on Mashima's screen here, see when they pick it up.
Oh, recover. Okay. Chat says, Stom says recover. Hi,
okay.
Stom.
So useful, but not progress. The front of Windmill Cave was a lysis plant, so there's 3 more checks they can make in here. That could potentially...
And one of them's got to be something good.
Yeah. Sure, what? I feel like it has to be I feel like one of these has to be a sword because I think they basically exhausted everywhere else that they could do like free turn-ins.
And I feel like it almost has to be Sword of Wind, honestly. It could maybe be Sword of Fire. Ooh, that is an unfortunate death to that robot.
I think we've only seen one wall yet, and it was a vanilla wall, so there is it's likely that vanilla walls are on.
Yeah.
But
well, we've seen 2 now because Leaf showed us the one in Sealed Cave itself.
I missed that. Was that also wind?
It was also wind. So
okay, so almost assuredly vanilla walls then. Okay.
Yeah, seems pretty likely.
Fortunately, Leaf is not in a great position in terms of they can't take any hits at all.
Yeah,
they don't have any healing items because they haven't been able to purchase anything yet. So this can get pretty rough.
Yeah. To answer your question, Stom, yes, the Thunder Sword Warp is on. So Sword of Thunder could also be our progress if it just takes us somewhere actually useful.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. Randomized turn-ins are on. Theoretically, it could be any of the swords and then going back to Rage for something.
Yeah.
That'd be a little twisted, but it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility. Okay, warp boots in the hallway.
Just warp boots. Honestly, this is kind of a rough hallway to do with no weapon.
This is terrible. Yeah. Okay, alarm flute, but they don't have Zebu yet, so that's not progress yet.
Yeah, we haven't found the Leaf Elder in particular.
Oh my goodness.
Eyeglasses.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
So Vanilla Lighthouse is what you're telling me?
I think that's the only possibility. Yeah,
okay.
sleeping Kensu in the lighthouse because this shed is going to take them to the lighthouse, and then that's going to give them something.
Wild.
Unfortunately, all those deaths that Leaf took in the cave gave Mashama plenty of chance to catch up. Sword of Wind, there we go. Okay.
And there's our sword.
This is pretty twisted so far. I'm liking this. Okay, and they cannot kill the Mimic. So it's possible that vanilla weaknesses are on as well.
Yep.
Definitely not vanilla turn-ins, because we saw that earlier because the boat hunter wanted a pendant.
Yeah. So it looks like maybe 1 out of 3 randomized. Honestly, it's a little too early to say on the weaknesses.
Yeah,
Mimics are 50-50, so...
So Leaf looks like they're either going to check the other GBC cave exit, or they're going to gamble on Rage wanting the Sword of Wind. I'm going to guess they're going to check the other exit, whereas Mashima is going to just go ahead and clear Windmill Cave.
Honestly, I could see an argument for, if you're going to do the other GBC cave exit, just poke your head out real quick to go to Rage, because it's right there.
Yeah.
And route it in there.
This is definitely a gamble on Leaf's part, because this could end up being a total waste of time. But whereas we know that there are 3 more checks in the Windmill Cave and also access to Bryn Mirror.
Yeah.
But depending on where
Hey, Goa.
Okay. So this
is interesting.
Yeah. Wow, Goa is a bunch of shops. And actual Goa, okay.
Goa Fortress in Goa.
Leaf selling the Lysis plant because it's especially useless now that they have Recover.
Yeah. And this early in the seed, you need every bit of money you can get.
Yeah. Oh, there is one house in here. Okay, what's in here? That looks like Sahara
Garbage.
Elder. Sahara Elder, I think. I missed what Mashama... Mashama's scaling didn't go up, so whatever it was...
It was a fruit of repun, so...
Oh, okay.
Also garbage.
I would say money, but there's a mimic in the shrine, so...
Oh, okay. Well, there's a payoff.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I don't think Leaf's gamble does not appear to have paid off yet. There are still a couple more things that they might find over here, but at this point, I feel like Mashama's routing.
I mean, with
more likely
only Sword of Wind, you've got one check on Hydra and one check in Oasis Cave, and that's it.
Yeah, which is why now that Mashama has the Sword of Water, they can get to Chiron, they can get a little bit further up Hydra. If they really wanted to, they could check all of Hydra, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so Opal Statue, which is nice to have, but probably not worth the detour. I'm not...
Yeah. Leaf opting not to go to Oasis Cave for the moment.
Yeah, because that's...
Again, one check and it's really out of the way.
Yeah.
Whereas Mashma has quite a bit open now, because you've got... We know he's got the entire Goa region, basically. He's got the entire Cordell Plains, Bryn Mawr region.
Yep.
And, yeah, you can do Portoa side caves, you can go back to Pyramid and beat up Dragon 1. Like, there are a lot of options here.
Yeah. Could be something in Amazon. Which is... Oh, wait, I guess he's checking the grass first. Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Oh.
What? That's...
Okay.
Actually... Okay. He's resetting out of that because he doesn't want to get warped away from Bryn Mawr without the warp point. which is actually a good idea.
Yeah. So let's do the rest of the checks and warp points here. And then pick up that Sword of Thunder. Yeah.
I'm assuming he's got a pair of warp boots in stock, but I wasn't paying super close attention.
Yeah.
And who knows? Sword of Thunder may end up warping him somewhere useful, but he's gonna do that last, and I can't say I blame him.
Honestly, the maximum comedy option now is for it to warp him to Bryn Mawr. It's like, oh, I didn't need to reset out of this after all.
You're right, actually. It can warp you to basically any town, right, including Zombie.
Yes, including Zombie. I have had seeds where your quote-unquote ESI access is getting warped there by Sword of Thunder. Same with your Saber North access.
My limit break run was that. It warped me to ESI, and then I had to go backwards through ESI to get to where I was going.
Yeah. I always find that's a cool little bit of routing.
Yeah. Did Mashama not go back for the Sword of Thunder?
It doesn't seem like it, no.
That's a curious choice. I mean, I guess he doesn't necessarily need it yet. I'm just a little surprised.
Yeah, that's a little surprising to me as well.
Checking to see if Rage wants the sword. It's possible that he won't. Okay. Never mind, he did. This might pay off, actually. This is a... Okay, nope, never mind.
Or didn't.
Not yet, anyway. At least we do know where the Stom fight is, but... Fortunately, that's not useful until you get to Oak, which means that he would need Hazmat Suit. Huh.
Interesting. So here's something interesting that we already know relatively early on in the seed. If ESI is important and Sword of Thunder doesn't warp us there, then a tower climb is required. And Messia is at top tower. Because the 3 external buildings we have left at this point are Beach House, Answering Machine, and Messia, Crystalis.
Yeah. And so they can't get to... Yeah, I'm trying to think where those could even be, because I know we can't get to the physical beach house yet. What else have we not seen? Or what else can they not reach yet?
Is
that it?
It's usually... Oh, you know what? Mashima reset out and then didn't go check Tornell's house.
You're right, that's the other one, okay. Yeah, so I'm actually very confused at Mashima's routing here, but it's possible they just forgot. But also, Curse of Plant, total bust.
Leaf must have taken an unfortunate death somewhere, because they're redoing a bunch of Sealed Cave stuff.
I'm not sure. I think they went exploring before coming back here, but admittedly I was looking more at Mashima since...
No, because that was the second time I saw them fighting the vampire. A bat post-vampire death. That's rough.
Yes, that... Okay, so Mashima about to take on Dragon 1 here. It's one of those things I'm a little surprised they didn't do earlier, but...
Yeah, it's tough to route it in when early on in the seed, when money is scarce and warp boots are scarce, and you don't have a lot of other reasons to go to.
What are you?
He's using the Bow of Truth on Dragon, like you're supposed to.
I feel like this is bad manners, honestly. Like, on multiple levels. But oh, Warrior Ring, that's a nice find.
Payoff.
And an antidote. So Warrior Ring was really good. So Leaf is going to be checking Tornell's hut in a second here. Let's see what they find. It is Beach House. So we've seen Boathouse and Beach House. It is possible that ESI ends up mattering, and Dolphin. And it was Amazons.
It's pretty much the same as getting warped to.
What's funny though? What's funny though is that Mashima reset out and then went to Amazons.
Yeah.
So if they had just taken the warp, they would have actually saved time, and then also not have had to go back for the sword afterwards.
Yeah, had not. The fact that Mashima has not gone back for that Sword of Thunder is very surprising to me.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Vanilla Walls, it hasn't mattered too much yet, but...
Well, we know they have Goa access, is the other thing.
Kind of? It's out of logic, because you still don't have Barrier.
I'm very surprised that Mashima is checking Foglamp Cave this early. Oh, there's the Leaf Elder. Where is... Oh,
this is Chiron.
Leaf Elder is in Chiron. Okay, so that's a good find. Because now Leaf can also wake up the Sleeping Windmill Guard as well.
Okay. Mashima picks up Refresh in Foglamp Cave.
Yeah. So this is the routing divergence is actually really stark here. Oh, Sabera's Fortress. Yeah. Okay. So they have mostly been finding completely different things here.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And most of the time they have ended up being important in some way, although again, I still don't understand why Mashima is doing the Portoa Caves this early.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think Mashima has found anything important, just beaten a required boss and gotten Refresh, which is nice quality of life, but not required.
Speaking of which, you didn't mark off Dragon 1.
Oh, that is true. Also, I still haven't gotten a good beat on weaknesses, but I think they're vanilla.
I guess I've never thought about whether or not poison mushrooms are weak to Wind Sword.
Oh, poison plants... Poison plants not being weak to that is... Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I'm definitely wrong. Okay. Mimics are definitely supposed to be weak to Thunder.
Yeah. So yeah, vanilla. It is definitely not vanilla weaknesses.
Speaking of mimics, there was a mimic at the very end of Fog Lamp, so...
We're getting some heavy mimic action going on here.
Leaf running out to get rid of this poison.
Yeah.
Gonna also top off their hit points while they're at it.
Yeah, I assume Leaf knows now the vanilla weaknesses. I mean, if they didn't know already, if they hadn't realized already, the vanilla weaknesses are not on. So there's a good chance they can kill Sabera at this point. Of course, there's a... Yeah. Do they have any... They don't have any upgrades for any of the swords they have. I don't think we've seen a ball orb at all yet, actually.
Nope. Alright, is Mashma going back for this Sword of Thunder finally?
Please check Tornell's hut? Okay, never mind.
Okay, he has actually picked up the Sword of Thunder time and let it warp him to Amazons, where he realizes the mistake that he made.
Yeah...
I don't know. Resetting out of it may not be a mistake.
Really, it was not a mistake. It was not a mistake. I totally get why he did it. It's just it worked out in an incredibly funny fashion.
The mistake, if there was one, was not immediately going back for it once you were finished in the Cordell area.
Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure that there were no warp boots in Leaf this time, right? Because I'm pretty sure the first time they saw them was whatever town they found first. I think it was Brynmere. Or, no, sorry, Portoa?
Yeah, Portoa is what they found first. Leaf's just getting poisoned all over the place.
I don't think Leaf has found anything interesting in Sabera's fortress yet.
Yeah.
If they can kill Sabera, there's a good chance they can, but it's entirely possible that they won't be able to. Oh,
okay.
She's Thunder Weak. Cool. Unfortunately, right, Leaf doesn't really have any offensive upgrades, so this is probably going to take a while, but...
Yeah.
It does...
Sabera 1 isn't too bad. Like, you can get a third of the... Like, that was a third of her hit points on the initial volley, but...
Yeah, Sabera 1 is definitely not nearly as bad as Sabera 2, but it can be pretty helpful to have a...
Either a combat upgrade of some kind, or just barrier so you can actually get in her face reliably.
Yeah. So Masham is back in Goa.
This is Mashma's first time to Goa.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, well, there's a combat upgrade.
For
the one sword we don't have.
Oh, of course.
But that is Sabera's one down on Leaf's side.
Yeah. I see that. I see the gears turning in Mashima's head. It's like, do I do a Goa dive yet or not? At this point, it's a little questionable. I would definitely go exploring a little bit more first.
Yeah, randomized weaknesses, but vanilla walls. So you know none of the walls are going to block you, but you might get stopped by a boss. So
you don't. He also doesn't really have any offensive upgrades. He's Warrior Ring, yes, but like that's it, and that's a little. That's not very much for Goa.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the sort of thing where I would spend at least a little bit more time doing easy checks before heading for Goa. And Mashima seems to be of the same mind. Okay, so just remembering that I don't think anybody has gone back to check the sleeping guard yet, although that's
a little out of the way.
A little bit, yeah. If they have a reason to go back to Leaf, and it's not a super long check, but it's not really on the way to anything that they're doing either.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, what was in Windmill? Was it Boathouse?
The boat guy.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, they don't have a super huge reason to go back to that until they've done a whole lot of other stuff with the dolphin and such. Oh, Leaf finding Orb of Water in the Oasis Cave. Not a bad little upgrade. So I'm trying to remember where the Warrior Ring was now.
It's on Dragon 1.
Okay.
So, Leaf has not been back to Portoa to finish out Pyramid
Yeah.
since the beginning of the game.
Be curious to see where they end up going next.
Yeah, honestly, there's so much open. Like, Sword of Wind opening up both the Goa region and Cordell Plains at the same time is
Yeah.
a lot to cover.
So I would... Ooh, Barrier. Okay, well, at this point...
Now Goa's in logic.
Yeah, at this point a Goa trip might not actually be the worst idea. At this point I would slightly give the edge to Mashima, but not by a lot. If Leaf finds something interesting here, that could put them well ahead.
Mashima has basically explored all the Portoa side caves, and that's time that he's lost because there was, other than Refresh, there was nothing good over there. But
yeah,
if Leaf ends up exploring them later, it's not that much of a loss, right?
Yeah. I can't remember off the top of my head how often how Leaf feels about the Portoa caves. I hate the Portoa caves personally. I won't go there unless I really think there's a good reason for me to do so.
They're not great. They're not great EV. Like,
yeah. Okay, Leaf is actually checking the windmill guard here, or yeah, the sleeping windmill guard here. So we'll find out in a minute if that is useful.
Meanwhile, Mashima's stepping into this Sabera fight, which should be a much easier time for him with that Warrior Ring.
Change. Okay, so that's Swan access.
And I think they're heading straight there, yeah.
Sure, looks like it.
Well, very easy Sabera 1 fight for
do not believe
Mashima.
We've seen Aurelius yet. But we also don't have any turn-in items either, so...
No.
Well, there's Clark, so...
Free item?
Free item, yep. Orb of Wind. Okay, offensive upgrade. Not bad.
Yeah, if Leaf goes to Pyramid and beats Dragon 1 and gets that Warrior Ring, I really like their...
There are 3 item shops in Swan.
I really like their setup for going into Goa now.
Yeah. I missed what was in the shed. I missed if it was the rabbit or if it was Storm.
It was the rabbit.
Okay. So Leaf is doing a Goa dive now. There aren't really that many places left other than... Well, we know Vanilla Walls are on, so Waterfall Cave is not a good idea. I think at this point, I think Goa is it.
You could do Hydra.
Mashama does not have Barrier, but they do have Refresh.
Yeah, Refresh is almost as good as Barrier for getting through those gauntlets, honestly.
Yeah. So it's kind of... They're on fairly even footing right now, actually, just in terms of what they have available to them. Well, actually, I guess Leaf doesn't have the Warrior Ring. So
Leaf has 2 weapon upgrades, and Mashima has Warrior Ring.
I would give the edge to Warrior Ring, especially if... Well...
I concur.
Especially for Sabera 2. So I feel like Mashama has a slight edge here.
Yeah. Stom, you haven't taken a nap yet because our runners have not found the Chiron Temple yet. That's needed to trigger the nap time in Chiron.
Wow, Kelbesk is really... Well, okay. I spoke too soon. Sorry, commentator's curse.
Alright, Kelbesk 1, weak to Thunder.
I was about to say that Kelbesk was really cooperating for Leaf and then immediately tackled them, so I feel bad now. Oh, well, there's the final sword. So, yeah, the Goa was definitely the play, because now they can absolutely clear everything here.
And that's also Kelbesk 1. I was about to calculate the odds that they could actually get through all of the bosses with just 3 swords and randomized weaknesses, but turns out the odds are 100% because they found the 4th sword, so...
They're still missing a fair amount of access. They don't have any way of getting to the ocean yet. And it's entirely possible that ESI will end up mattering. I'm almost positive that... I feel like Beach House is almost assuredly going to matter.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So they're going to need to either get flight or ocean access.
I mean, I think they're going to have to get...
What did Mashama just do? That looked like... I think that wasn't... What?
What is he going to check?
He saved, and they're checking things, I guess.
Is there something specific he's checking?
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
I think he realized he never checked Tornell's hut. He thinks Crystalis could be here because he never checked Tornell's hut earlier.
Okay.
He saved before he did this, so this isn't a total waste of time. He's just realizing that he never checked Tornell's hut earlier. So we know this isn't going to pay off, but this does make sense, given his knowledge.
Meanwhile, Leaf has gotten fed up with the Kelvesk 1 fight as it stands, and is setting up a sword charge glitch to be able to have a stronger weapon against Kelvesk 1. Sure.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, the thing that really let Mashima just burn through that fight was the warrior ring.
Yeah,
which is just...
Yeah. If Leaf had gone back and cleared the pyramid, then they would have it, but they have no way of knowing that, so...
Yeah. Getting bullied by plants on the way there, too. And I think those might have been plants that are immune to thunder, which means you can't even kill them.
I missed it if it was, but I can 100% believe that.
Alright. Nothing important on Sparrow's floor so far, it would seem.
Sure doesn't seem that way. Oh, still not enough.
Oh yeah, part of the problem is they've used almost all of their MP getting into Goa.
Yeah.
And so they don't actually have any barrier left for the fight, which would help a fair amount.
Well, level 1 Sabero weakness, but warrior ring, so this is like a 4 out of 10 maybe.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Honestly, warrior ring makes a big difference here.
For sure.
It lets you feel like you're stabbing her, even though when you normally can't stab her. Like, I almost think I'd rather have Warrior Ring for that fight than what Leaf is going to have, which is just a ball of wind.
For sure, for sure.
Alright, Leaf opting to break the sword charge glitch in order to use the medical herb. Okay.
So many tackles! So many tackles!
Stop trying to... Okay, you made it through. I was about to say, just stop trying to stab and just charge up a shot. Alright, they've picked up their Sword of Fire.
So far, nothing interesting on Mado's floor, but there's still several things to check.
Yeah.
I missed if Mashima actually checked that upper chest on the top floor, but I did see that they checked the lower right one, and it was the consumable.
Yeah, the way he typically routes through this, coming this direction, this is the second check.
Sure.
You do the bottom right, the 2 on the left, the 1 in the top middle, and then the 1 on the way to Motto.
I can see that, yeah. Yeah, I guess you drop down and then on your way across, you go across the top.
Yeah, I can see that. So interestingly, Leaf has opted not to continue through Goa yet.
Well, I think Leaf was doing a similar thing to what M2sh2m2 did, and it's like, I haven't looked behind Rage.
That's true.
That could be Crystalis.
Oh, please don't go to the Cursed Plant Cave. No.
The other thing is, they used all of their healing getting through just the Kelbesk 1 fight, which I should actually check off here, by the way. Someone's slacking on their job. It's me. Technically, everything M2sh2m2 is doing right now is out of logic, because getting through these spike pits needs hazmat or rabbit boots or flight.
You know, you're right. You're right. I hadn't considered that, but you're right.
Which means actual logic probably wants us to be somewhere in Saber West or Waterfall Cave.
Maybe?
Yeah.
You know, they do have access to Saber North if they had teleport. So it wouldn't surprise me if teleport was hiding in one of those places.
Teleport and telepathy.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you do need telepathy for the rabbit. That's right. Well, still, I mean, there's plenty of checks in those two places.
Yeah. But it could also just as easily be rabbit boots or flight or hazmat hiding in one of those places. That's just like, okay, now go back into Goa and get through the spikes legit.
Yeah. Oh man, M2sh2m2 is not having a good time with this. Oh, the Hellway strikes again!
And it's particularly bad here because you are actually taking damage every time you fall down.
Yep. I think he's got at least a couple of magic rings, but yeah, this is not a fun setup by any stretch of the imagination.
And honestly, having Warrior Ring does help, but that particular butterfly, where it died, the pollen just went straight for him, and there was no way he was going to dodge that.
Oh goodness!
Like that, yeah. This is a Hellway.
This is something else. This is not the worst I've ever seen this, but it's not fun by any stretch either. He does have 3 more well, okay, he has 2 more magic rings now. He probably just gonna end up powering through this. I think Leaf has forgotten that they can go kill Dragon 1.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not surprised that someone would forget that. How often do you actually get into Pyramid with 0 swords and don't just full clear it immediately?
Yeah.
Right? How often do you actually think about, oh, I need to go back to Pyramid?
For sure. Yeah, and that's just thinking about it from a status of well, there's 2 checks there and a critical flag.
Yeah.
So, and it's fast. So go there.
Yeah.
That's just how I view it. But so,
yeah. But I think it's a very easy thing to forget if you have to double dip Pyramid.
Yeah, given how reluctant they seem to be to continue through Goa, I'm surprised. I would be surprised if they had considered Pyramid and decided against it.
Yeah.
So I suspect they have forgotten about Pyramid at this point.
All right, M2sh2m2 level 1 Motto 2 fight, but with Refresh and Warrior Ring. Shouldn't be too bad.
This is like a 5, maybe.
Yeah.
And I know he's got at least a warrior or 1 more magic ring left, so
he might also have an opal left, honestly.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Like, oh, and yeah, didn't even need any of that. Just Refresh, got the job done. And there's a Thunder upgrade.
Leaf is going to have a pretty miserable time with Sibera 2 here, though, I think. Even with the Orb of Wind, I don't think they're going to have a particularly...
Yeah, I think I'd rather take the side of that's Warrior Ring but level 1 sword, as opposed to level 2 sword but no Warrior Ring.
Yeah, I think
Barrier only helps a little bit because of the orbiting flames. You can't. It's really hard to get into position to actually stab Sabera 2. Like,
Yeah,
you
but
kind of have to be over leveled.
It's less dodging. It's less dodging if you can use barrier to absorb the fireballs that she shoots, but it's still gonna take a while. Just charging up the sword that much is gonna take quite some time.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if Carmine's item shop is nice to us today.
Lysis plant.
Still 4 more possibilities.
Again, all of this out of logic.
Yeah, not terribly useful.
We'll probably see him equip it to get to Carmine.
Yeah, that's why I said. That's why I didn't say useless. Oh, power ring. Okay,
that's much better.
That's very nice. Not as critical given that he's got the warrior ring, but still nice to have. Orb of water. Okay, enough of their offensive upgrade.
That'll be Blizzard bracelet for Leaf when they eventually get down there.
So I don't believe we found a single turn-in item, like any of the randomized turn-in items yet.
No. Honestly, we haven't found any progress in Goa. We've just killed required bosses.
That's true. That's true.
We found Sword of Fire. Okay, Sword of Fire was progress.
At the very front, though, I don't really know if it counts if it's like the first thing you find.
Right. Most of this has just been killing required bosses.
Yeah. There are still a couple more opportunities, though. Well, there are officially 2 more opportunities. 1 more opportunity.
No, we're at 0. There's
the chest across the middle. You were about or across the river. Right. You were about to forget it, weren't you?
I was. The problem is I play too much WA, and so I classify that check as in Oasis Cave and not in Goa.
What's going to be really funny... What are you doing, Mashan?
Mashama memeing as usual.
I mean, what else are you going to do with the Bow of Truth in this flag set, right?
Right.
Alright, let's see if this ends up mattering.
Alright.
I feel like it's pretty rare that this one ends up mattering as well, but
It's come up once or twice, but yeah. Again, the entire back half of Goa was out of logic.
Yep.
For Mashima.
Was it worth it? No, not even a little bit.
Throw that into the river immediately.
Yep. Alright, well... So I think at this point, that means that progress has to be in either Waterfall Cave, or on Hydra, or in Saber West.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
So it looks like Mashima is opting for Hydra. I think Hydra has more checks, but it might take a little bit longer to clear than either of those other choices, especially since they don't have rabbit boots. So there's at least one... There's really only 3 things on Saber West that you could get right now.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any bracelets, so I can't say I blame him for not opting for Saber West.
Yeah. I will say, the awkward thing about all 3 of those checks is you're abandoning at least 1 check in all of those cases.
Yeah, none of them are great choices. Hydra's probably slightly more dense, so I can definitely understand wanting to do that one first.
There is also, from Mashma's point of view, Mashma has not gone to Oasis Cave. Because that's where Barrier was.
That's true. So far, they have not found anything interesting.
Leaf has made it through Motto 2, by the way. Or, sorry, through Sabera 2. My mistake. I misspoke. Honestly, didn't have too bad of a time with it with Barrier and Sword of Wind. It was probably just slower than doing it with Warrior Ring.
Yeah.
A little late on that platform.
Threading the needle.
Yep.
In the wrong way. Very easy to do.
Yep. Especially you're trying to time it with all the enemies that are around you too, and
Oh yeah, Leaf doesn't have Warrior Ring, so they're gonna have an absolutely miserable time with these butterflies.
yeah.
I missed what Mashama got, but it didn't sound anything like anything interesting.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so far Hydra has not paid off. There's one more check they can do, potentially two, if somehow Flight is in here.
Flight just before the flight lock checked here. Yeah.
So Leaf opting to reset out of these things. Broken statue, that is not useful yet.
Could be something.
Could be something. I feel like when you find it this late, it almost never is, but still possible. So let's see where Mashama goes next, because I think the only realistic choices at this point are Saber West or looks like they're heading for Saber West from Zebu's side, which is an interesting choice. Not sure if this is faster. I guess it might be faster.
The benefit of doing it this way is you get to trigger the kidnapping.
True.
Yeah,
if you haven't done that yet, yes, that makes sense.
And actually, I don't think he's done the sleeping windmill guard either.
I think you might be right.
So,
I'm trying to remember what that was. Because I feel like
birds with one stone.
I feel like the sleeping windmill guard was something interesting, but I can't remember what it would have been now. And also, Leaf is getting absolutely clobbered by this Hellway.
Yeah, this Hellway is rough.
This is not a fun setup by any stretch of the imagination for trying to get through the Hellway right here. I've had to do the Hellway with a very similar setup, and it's miserable.
Honestly, the worst thing for me going through it, if I was going through this Hellway right now, is thinking this is out of logic because I can't get through the spikes in logic. So, is it bad enough that I should just leave and come back when it is in logic? Or do I need to do this now because going through all of Goa again is going to be miserable?
Masha was trying to get punted up the slope here. I'm not.
I don't think
choice. I'm not sure if that.
It can work, but not with these enemies. These enemies move too slow and don't have quite enough knockback.
And they keep poisoning him too.
Yeah.
Which means no knockback. So.
Yeah. What you really want there is a flyer.
Oh. Hello, Nooper.
That's not what Leaf wants, though, is a flyer.
Okay, Psycho Shield. Oh, I just noticed that Mashima actually opted to buy some armor.
Yeah, that's a thing he does occasionally. He probably did it before going into Goa, and we just didn't notice at the time.
Yeah.
Knowing the way that he likes to play.
I mean, especially if you find... Oop, Nooper again. If you find money early with the Mimic, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Since it was a Mimic in their first spot.
Bow of Sun.
So
2 out of 3 bows.
Slightly more useful than the Bow of Truth.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I feel like there was a seed in the last couple of days where a Crypt Dive actually ended up mattering.
Yeah, 0 versus DD, it mattered.
That's right, yeah. There was... I don't remember what it was, but there was something in the left-hand chest.
I believe it was key to Stixie for Go mode.
That sounds right, yeah.
You get 3 butterflies? Oh, geez, Leaf. Alright. Can the other one stay off-screen long enough? No?
Oh, key to Stixie on next to Tornell, so it was Saber West. Almost assuredly. Trying to think where this could potentially go, though. We haven't seen Portoa Queen, so this could go that, or it could be Styx itself.
Or Chiron Temple.
Or true.
If it's vanilla Stixie, I wouldn't be surprised to see Mashama just kind of ignore it for now. I know he said in the past that if he doesn't have barrier and 60 isn't in logic. He just hasn't felt like doing it, especially without flight, and you'd only be doing half the checks.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't want to go. I don't know. The fact that they just found that and there's not that many places left to go, I feel like it would still kind of nudge it a little bit higher, but. Because really the only other place to go at this point would be Waterfall Cave, and that feels like that's worse than just going to Stixie. Yep, he's going for it. Put on Shield Ring, please, if you didn't already. Nope. Put on Shield Ring. I think he's forgotten he has Shield Ring.
Honestly, not taking that much damage.
Yeah.
He's made it through Moto 2 pretty quickly. After getting through that Hellway, finally.
Yeah. Leaf definitely did a good job getting through that with what they had. That was a pretty miserable setup they had for getting through there. And yeah,
I don't envy anyone trying to go through that Hellway.
Yep.
I feel like the worst thing that could happen for our runners in this seed at this point is vanilla flight.
You know, oh, no, don't forget the Axe chest. We don't want to call it the Mashama chest now, do we?
We have called it the Mashama chest in the past. It's been both. Alright. Leaf's gonna get a couple of good quality of life upgrades down in Carmine's basement.
Yep. Let's see, was this Styx trip worth it? Or are we going to the Waterfall Cave? Nope. Wow.
Styx has total bust so far. There are still the items over across the river, but damn. I would not have guessed that was going to be a total waste of time like that.
So I'm wondering if the thing that they were supposed to find that gets them over the spikes in like Waterfall Cave is flight. And it's just been there all along.
Also, there are actually warp boots in Leaf.
Okay.
I'm not sure how we didn't notice that before.
Honestly, I just have not been paying very close attention to it.
Yeah. Okay, so Mashama is now checking the windmill guard. I don't remember what this was.
I don't quite either.
Change.
Oh, okay. Right!
Which I don't think unlocked anything yet, because I don't think there was anything interesting in Swan. I think there was a rabbit. I think was the
the rabbit and Clark, and I forget what Clark had.
I feel like Clark had something at least moderately interesting. I just don't remember what it was.
Oh, probably this ball of wind that Leaf has.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And yes, Chris remembering that had about 15 item shops in Swan.
Mashama is just being rude every chance they possibly could.
Yep, there's that orb of wind. That's where that came from.
So yeah, I feel like at this point, I think it has to be Waterfall Cave. I don't know what else is left.
Did Leaf clear Carmine and I wasn't paying attention?
Yes.
I could believe that fight went that quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, he had... Carmine was weak to wind, he was weak to wind, and he got owned by the Orb of Wind. So, yes.
Makes sense.
Carmine died pretty fast.
As is Carmine's wont to do.
Leaf burning an opal to get through this river, but I guess they can just reset out of it once they see it's a Lysis plant.
Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting. Mashama's going to the Oasis Cave now.
Leaf indeed taking that reset to recover that opal.
Yep. So Mashama's gonna... might be a little cross at finding barrier here, but...
Honestly, I think Waterfall Cave has our progress.
I can't think anywhere I can't think of anywhere else they haven't been yet.
Oh, speaking of going to be a little bit cross, Leaf is heading into Pyramid.
Oh no.
Leaf is going to be very cross with this Warrior Ring placement. Which is 100% why I think Mashama has the lead right now, is just all on the back of that Warrior Ring.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's the Blizzard Bracelet, so they're all caught up on sword upgrades now.
Yep.
Goodbye, Dragon! It's nice knowing you. Ooh, that Puddle playing good defense.
Rude Puddle, for sure.
And then taking all of Mashima's Nun MP.
It's okay, there's nothing left for him to worry about in here. It's the wall.
Yeah.
He's gonna find barrier, and he's like, well... That would have been nice earlier.
Yeah, again, it's not too bad if you have refresh.
Yeah.
Alright. It looks like...
Wow, he's not even hitting it in, he's just using a magic ring and running off, which, sure. He's got enough of them.
Like, despite this route divergence, both of our players are heading into Waterfall Cave at basically the same time.
Yeah.
At basically the same total progress.
Yeah, I feel like at this point... Oh, nope. Leaf appears to be heading for Foglamp Cave.
Oh, okay, maybe not.
I think that's where Refresh was?
Yeah. It was the third check in Foglamp Cave, if I recall correctly.
Did Mashima not actually go in the Waterfall Cave?
No, Mashima is thinking about something else, and I'm not sure what.
I'm confused what's going on here.
Oh, you know what I think Mashima's gearing up for? Mashima might be gearing up for a Hell Run.
I think you might be right, actually, yeah. I mean, he's got a good setup for it. He's got Refresh, he's got a...
He's got Refresh.
Yeah, I guess
that's what you really need.
I'm just trying to think how much magic that's gonna... I guess just getting to Oak is probably not gonna take that long.
Yeah, and well, that's all you can do right now, because you still don't have telepathy.
Yeah. Can't rescue the kid, can't fight the bug.
Yeah. That said, because all of this is really getting you is the Stomp fight, I feel like...
I don't know that this is behind Rage? Was that behind Rage?
Yes. Yes, it was. So this is also going to take a lot of time to do all this.
Bye, Ski Free. I'm trying to remember if there's any houses they haven't found yet that matter.
Arillis?
Oh, yeah, Arillis.
And
yeah.
Oak Mom, according to my notes, but neither of them are here.
Okay, so Oak... They never have to come back to Oak except to return the kid, I suppose. The Elder's been kicked out of his house and replaced with a shop. So yeah, I think at this point, I think it really just does have to be Waterfall Cave. Of course, even if something had been in Oak, yeah. I bet the hazmat suit is in the Waterfall Cave.
So Mashima is walking through GVC Cave to get to the Portoa exit to do the Stomp fight. Because if you're not doing the Stomp fight now, why did you go to Oak out of logic?
I can understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it.
Yeah. I think that's my opinion of it as well. I understand why this is happening, but
one other thing this gets you is that now you know what bracelet Tornell wants.
Except he's already been to the top of Saber West.
Right. That's true. He was up there earlier.
And so we now know it's a flame bracelet because we're paying attention this time.
Yes. And Statue of Gold, which is totally useless right now because they cannot get to the ocean.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Leaf has gone back to Saber West.
I don't think there was anything interesting here.
No, I don't think so either.
I'm trying to remember. There was something next to Tornell that was moderately interesting, but I don't think it was progress.
That was the key to Stixie.
Right, that was the key. Yes, okay.
Which led Mashima to actually go up there, and it was Stixie, and all the items there were junk so far.
Yeah. So that might end up mattering if something critical's on the other side of the river, but right now it's not going to help.
Correct.
That's a pretty big if. Let's see.
All right, left or right
left
today?
side? Okay. I disagree with this. Because if right side is Flute of Lime, or Flight, I genuinely cannot think... the only way that this makes sense...
I mean, if left side is Flight, you want to go to whichever side Flight is.
I guess, but I don't know. It's such a minor thing, but I feel like it's more likely to... Oh! Well,
hey.
they don't have telepathy yet, though. So they can't do Saber North.
Yeah. So it doesn't do anything on its own.
The other side of this has to be something, but I don't know...
Watch the other side be telepathy. Because then you have all the tools you need.
Yeah, because we already know that Oak isn't useful yet.
Yeah.
Because the Stomp fight wasn't anything.
Oh, right. Psycho Shield was also on Saber West, which is, you know, it's not progression, but it's nice to have.
Oh, true. I gotta say, like, this is honestly a pretty twisted seed. They're an hour in, and they're only at... Mashama's only at 27 scaling. That's pretty low for an hour.
I agree. I feel like the back half of this seed is going to be just kind of a blitz.
Yeah. And there we go. So now that's Saber North. Once Mashama remembers where the rabbit was, which I think was Swan.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess there's only two places it could be. We already know that the eyeglasses was in Leaf, and they can't get to Joel. So
yeah.
Okay, so now Saber North.
Still kind of feels like there's going to be a tower climb this seed.
What? Yeah, I think the only thing they haven't been able to reach yet is Beach House.
Yeah.
And if Beach House is answering machine, then that means that Crystalis is in the tower, right?
Yeah. Well, and Chiron Temple is the one thing they haven't found yet.
I think that has to be in Pyramid.
It's Pyramid or it's Zombie Town.
True. So what's the other...
Portoa Castle.
Okay.
So I think they probably just need Flight. Yeah, actually, you're gonna need Flight.
There's still a world where Dolphin matters.
Yeah. But if Dolphin matters, then you need Flight to get to the beach house. And if Dolphin doesn't matter, it's because Chiron Temple is in Pyramid.
We've seen both Boathouse and the actual beach house. I forget where it was.
Yeah. It's Answering Machine we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Chris, is there is no ESI access without Flight at this point, because
No, I'm saying you could get Dolphin, and Dolphin could get you to ESI.
No, you can't. You can't.
Oh,
get
you're
Dolphin.
right. We can't get Dolphin because we haven't seen the Portoa Queen. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and in particular, we can't. Answering Machine. We can't get to Answering Machine at all without Flight.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So it is still possible that Dolphin matters, but they're definitely going to find Flight first.
Yes. I miss if the first Saber North check had anything good.
It wasn't anything interesting. I think it
Leaf going through Stixie, which we know is useless so far.
Yeah. And there it is.
There it is.
Oh, I see what he's just gonna go up the ramp. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. That way you get to skip breaking the last 2 walls on the path.
Yeah, I would... At this point, I would still check that last chest in the prison area. But
well,
maybe
you can still get there really easily by flying up.
After killing Kelbesk, perhaps. Okay. So I guess, yeah, killing Kelbesk first and then going back for that prison chest.
Fire Week. Insect flute. Oh boy.
Still no hazmat suit.
Oh, Mashma, you forgot to check.
I don't know if this is going to end up mattering or not. This could be interesting. This could,
Also, Mashma immediately taking that insect flute and like, nope, we're gonna do this out of logic. Flight? What's that? That doesn't get me anything.
I mean, it's not gonna be that hard to get back up to that chest, but I really feel like it would have been a better idea to do that now.
Honestly, I'm thinking the more likely thing is that he's just forgotten it and is going to continue to forget it. So if it's something important, that could be very costly for him.
Yeah. And at this point...
you need more health than that. Oh, maybe you don't. Okay. I underestimated how long that cutscene was.
He's got an opal, so I think he's hoping he can kill it. Oh, okay, yeah. Alright, well...
Waste of time.
Total waste of time. Cost him an opal to get a magic ring. I would honestly reset out of that myself, but...
Yeah, honestly.
Get my stuff back. This seed is brutal. This is, like, the amount of just running around to just random places they've had to go.
Alright, Mashma heading to Sahara.
Yeah.
Possibly by way of Oasis Cave to get the battle armor check? No, we're just gonna leave that behind for now. That's fair.
Well, there's Dio, and there's whatever's in the pyramid. Which, at this point, I would be kind of hoping was Chiron Temple?
Yeah. You're definitely hoping it's Chiron Temple and that you don't need ESI access.
So...
Vanilla Dio's Pendant.
Interesting.
Sorry, Vanilla Bunny Pendant.
Well, so wait, if this is Chiron Fort, then what does that leave ESI as being?
Portoa Castle.
Portoa Queen, yeah, okay.
Yeah, which means if this is Chiron Temple, this is Go mode. This is... Yeah, this is definitely Go mode.
Yeah, at this point, I really think all we're hoping... At this point, if I was Mashama, I would be hoping that Beach House is Crystalis, so that I didn't have to do Tower without Crystalis. But besides that, yeah, I don't think there's anything left.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like checking this now so that you know... So that you have Crystalis for the Model 1 fight, at least. If it is Crystalis. Or else you just... finish. I don't know why you're bothering to go to Joel. It's just to get a reset point.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, ultimately, it doesn't matter. Hey, look at that! Look at that!
Alright.
Cool, so Portoa Queen doesn't matter at all. So, yeah, wow, what... That was a twisted mess, but he is in Go mode now.
Yeah. And Leaf is now finally on their way through this waterfall cave to get all the ingredients necessary for Saber North access, at which point it probably won't be long before they're in Go mode too.
Yeah. So something I want to point out is that Swamp and Oak in particular ended up not mattering at all.
Yeah. I wonder if like Hazmat Suit is on ESI, because we know ESI won't be accessible until post beating the game. Actually, that's not true. You can get to ESI right now by flying through the ocean, because we know Portoa Castle is there.
So wait a minute, But getting a hazmat suit or rabbit boots would still have mattered to getting through Goa, right?
Oh, that's true. Well, no, flight. Flight gets you over the spikes.
Could they have gotten to Saber North before doing Goa?
Yeah, all they needed was a Sword of Fire from the first room of Goa to do Waterfall Cave, and the 2 checks in the back of Waterfall Cave were your teleport and telepathy.
Okay, so yeah, if you squint. But I can't, yeah. That's twisted enough that even if I knew that, I probably would still just power through Goa.
Yeah.
Even if I knew that's what it was expecting me to do, I feel like I would still power through Goa.
I think 100% you're supposed to power through Goa in both of their spots. It's a little rough that it was a lot easier for Mashima because he picked up that warrior ring beforehand.
Yeah. Who rolled this, by the way? Was it you? I'm assuming it was me. You. Okay.
Yeah. Also, I just realized I never actually marked the Moto 2 fight because I missed that it happened. It went by that quickly.
Yeah.
But it must be done because he just beat Dragon 2, so... Alright. Leaf has picked up their... look at how few warp points Leaf has at an hour 10 into the seed. Like, this is stupid.
This is messed up. This is...
Shama taking a nice leisurely stroll through the tower.
And confirming that answering machine is at the top of the tower. Thank you so much, Mashama.
Just taking a quick look in the full-length mirror, and then, let's fight Dinah.
Oh yeah, they are both using the Misha spray, huh?
Yep, as expected, very easy Dinah fight. And Mashima is done with an official race time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, 55 seconds. Let's get your GGs out for Mashima in the chat, and we'll see if we get him in here shortly for some post-match interview.
How do I not have any GG emotes? What is this? Gotta have one somewhere.
Got...
Yeah, I guess I really don't. Gonna need to put one on my channel so that I have one.
That's what I did. And it looks like Leaf, actually pretty close to the solution, has opted to forfeit at 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 46 seconds.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we also get them in for some post-race commentary. I think that's understandable. GG's, Mashima.
Yo, what's up, guys?
What did you think of that seed, Mashama?
I'm glad I went into it of I'm just gonna have fun because it's been a long day, because that was some twisty logic.
Yeah.
It sure was.
You ended up doing a lot of things out of logic that ended up not mattering at all. Like, we realized that Swamp didn't matter even a little bit.
Nope. Like, that was the joke that, because I spaced on Rage, 2 races? It's been bad. So I was like, Rage is gonna matter. Rage is totally gonna matter. Rage is totally gonna matter. I'm like, Stom's there.
Totally didn't matter.
Yeah, let's go ahead and hell run. No. Oh, hi, Leaf.
GG's on sticking that one out for a while, Leaf. You were actually pretty close to being done with that. Flight was here on Saber North, where you are now, so...
And I assume Chiron's in,
Yeah, Chiron's in Pyramid. Crystalis is in Beach House. So...
Yeah. I had a rough go mid-game.
Yeah,
yeah.
Not taking Warrior Ring into there, unfortunately, cost you quite a lot of time.
Yeah, honestly,
I was very mad to find Warrior Ring on Dragon, I'll admit.
Yeah, I think that's what made the biggest difference is Mashima went back to Pyramid before Goa, and you did not.
Hey, do you remember that seed you forgot to go into ESI? That's me with the Pyramid. I actually told myself about time I was in Siberian, I should have done Pyramid first.
Yeah. I think we've all been there once. It's like trying to balance when it's right to full clear Goa and just like, look, I need to do all these bosses, and all of these are required checks, so let's just do Goa, versus, but what if I got tools to make Goa easier?
Yeah. And something.
Although in this case, let's be honest, the fact that I did Goa before doing the required very easy Dragon is questionable.
I'm honestly impressed that you managed to get through the Hellway with the setup you had as fast as you did, because that was not a fun Hellway at all for what you had.
No, that was unpleasant.
Oh, I had all the supplies for it, and I still fell, 3-4 times?
Yeah, exactly. And Leaf had even less going into that, and managed to get through faster than you did, actually, now that I think about it.
That was my thought afterwards. I'm like, he probably got caught up on that Hellway, because that was super nasty the way it was set up.
Yeah.
I just got caught up on the slowest Saber. What I got caught up on was Kelbesk. Let's be real here. Kelbesk gave me the business this seed.
That was rough for sure.
He'll do that. Yeah, some days Kelbesk is super easy. Some days he's just done with you.
Yep. One thing that did surprise me when you did it, and then I realized why you were doing it, is after you picked up the Sword of Fire Mashama, you bailed out of Goa, and then I realized you were checking Tornell's hut because you'd never checked it, and then ended up not mattering. But you'd saved when you were inside, so you ended up just going back in. But it was just like, wait, why did Mashama just bail out of Goa?
My only regret is I thought of it right before I got the second check in Sabera's floor. I should have done that check real quick, then reset back just so I'd know what was there and whether I avoided or not.
Yeah.
Because I reset back, saved in Zebu's room, went to go see if Crystalis was actually loose. Because I screwed up early. I picked up the Sword of Thunder, and then I thought I was going to be clever and reset, and then just check all the Bren, then go back and grab the Sword of Thunder. And then I forgot to go back and grab the Sword of Thunder.
Yeah,
so
we noticed that.
And I was like, whatever. We'll just do all this other stuff. I know where it's at. I can go back for it later.
What made it the best, not that you could have known this, what made it the best was that you reset and then ran to Amazons, and if you had just let it take you, it would have taken you to Amazons.
Mm-hmm.
That was the cherry on top of that sequence.
Yeah.
No, the whipped cream with that is I teleported to Amazon when I was going back, then ran up, grabbed the sword, and it just brought me right back again.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I noticed where it brought me, because I had just teleported there to pick up the sword again, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I can't leave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, both of you technically did the back half of Goa out of logic, because neither of you had any way to get through the spikes other than taking the damage.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that was the right thing to do. But it's interesting that technically, as soon as you got the Sword of Fire, you could go to Waterfall Cave, get Teleport and Telepathy, go to Saber North, and get Flight, and then have Flight for Goa.
Yeah,
I was trying to guess if it was going to give us teleport or hazmat suit on the other side of the river.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, even if I had... That's such twisted logic in terms of what it expected you to do. Even if I had known that, I still would have opted to just go through Goa myself.
Yeah, I fully agree.
Barrier being in the middle of Oasis Cave, you're not going to make that play. You're just going to head into Goa when you have 3 swords.
I mean, Leaf made that play and had Barrier for all of Goa.
Nice. That
So
would have been helpful.
Yeah, it did end up helping them out quite a lot.
yeah, it was interesting to see the different loadouts you two had going into Goa, because you were going in at roughly the same time, but Mashama had the Warrior Ring, but only level 1 swords and no Barrier. Oh, and you had Refresh, as opposed to Leaf had Barrier, a couple of sword upgrades, but no Warrior Ring and no Refresh. And
I also did a quick peek for armor and found the armor I was looking for, so I went ahead and snagged that before I went to Goa.
yeah.
Yeah, it was that those first like 30 or 40 minutes were wildly different routing, and it ended up being a pretty interesting watch just from that perspective, just seeing the completely different setups that you two had dealing with various things.
it's also funny, there was a moment after both of you had cleared Goa where, despite all the different routing that had gone on, both of you were leaving Port Toa and walking towards Waterfall Cave at the same time, where, because of what we had seen on commentary, we were pretty sure progress had to be there. And so you were walking to Waterfall Cave, and then both of you changed your mind and went and did something different on the way to Waterfall Cave. Like, Leaf went to Fog Lamp, and Mashama went to go do a Hell Run. Just kind of funny.
Yeah, that was very surprising when that happened.
Did you guys enjoy the insect?
Yeah,
The insect that was completely useless. Honestly, we were surprised you didn't reset out of it to save the opal.
There was no reason to. I was so loaded at that point. I saw the 3 opals, and I'm like, if I find insect fluid, I'm just gonna run to insect. I don't really care.
Oh, I used the opals as a. I made use of my opals in this seat. I would like to give personal shout out to the opal burn in the purple swamp going down to the back of Goa.
Yeah, well, you were set out of that one at least. But yeah, that was a pretty choice.
All right, it was fun. Nope, I'm not quite on centered.
Because I dropped the lysis plant to pick up the lysis plant. I was like, oh, cool.
There. There. There's where I'm ending the seed.
Dragon dead.
Gotta do it.
Love to see exactly where this actually ends, because we're, of course, watching on a bit of a delay, but is this ending in front of the full-length mirror at the top of the tower?
Oh, no, it's better than that.
In Dinah's room? Because that would be pretty good, too. Anyways. Yeah.
Still haven't figured out what the bow of truth is for. I tried it on a lot of things and just didn't seem to do anything.
It is really funny to get Bow of Truth in the opening 2 checks in this flag set. It's like,
It's
cool.
hilarious.
You know,
Thanks for the extra scaling.
I gave it exactly half a second of thought of resetting out of it.
The very first time I ran this flag set, that happened to me. I was like, "Oh, neat, Bow of Truth right off the bat, cool," and not knowing yet that it did absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mashma, you get a, I think it's the 2022 lower bracket finals rematch with Matrick next.
No, it was because the finals was.
The lower bracket finals was the finals was Mashma in Tornell, but to get there, the lower bracket finals was with Matrick.
I think it was 2023. Yeah.
It was 22 because 23 was 22 was Tornell's year because Tornell just didn't lose.
No. That's just Chris. 22 was when I went all the way to the end and then got crushed by Tornell horrifically over and over again.
The losers bracket after you got knocked down by Tornell the first time, to get there, your final match was Matrick. So,
okay,
you get a rematch of that match.
Yes, for anyone not following along in the chat, what Leaf is alluding to is, as a result of that, Mashama, your next matchup is against Matrick in the lower bracket round 4. So we'll get that on the schedule sometime soon. Leaf, once again, unfortunately this is your exit from the tournament, but once again, thank you for joining the tournament. It's been wonderful having you here.
I got to win this time, so I'm happy with that performance.
Yeah, and honestly, that seed was a killer performance. If anyone hasn't watched the Leaf versus Show race, definitely go check that one out.
Yeah, that was a really good watch, and I was commentating for it, and I was having a great fun the whole time. So
yeah,
highly recommend.
The second half is most of us from this voice call trying to give our energy to Show.
Yep.
Watch at least the first hour of it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
was great.
Yeah. I want to plug. Leaf also made a cool little guide today about all the checks and some of the logic stuff. So So for anyone looking to learn, you have something from Leaf.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
And that is in the Discord, which let me see if I can get a link to that. If someone doesn't beat me to it, because chat is on top of things like that sometimes. And I am not prepared to do this, but I'm going to vamp while I dig through all of this stuff to find the link to the Discord and post it in the chat. And Chris beats me by like half a second. Come on, man.
Chris is
Can't even
faster
let
than
me
us at
win this
Crystalis
race.
Yeah, Chris is faster at Crystalis and the chat game. Give us a chance, man.
Chris is unbeatable unless it's April Fool's Day. That's all you gotta know.
That's his April Fool's prank, don't you know? All right. We do have one other race on the schedule. It's not until Sunday, though. It'll be Sunday, I believe, 3 p.m. Eastern, and that is myself versus Dragon Dark. So come and watch me get smushed into the ground. It'll be a good time.
You'll do fine.
It won't be that bad.
It probably won't be that bad. I think on at least one of the practice seeds that Dee posted and I did on my own time, I actually beat their time. So it's possible. It can happen. I do think I'm an underdog, but it can happen.
Well, see, what you gotta do is you've got to just do the exact opposite of whatever Dragon Dark does, just in case that ends up being the thing you need to do.
Yeah, I tried that last race, and that cost me some time. So I won, but it was closer than it should have been. So maybe that's not a good idea.
Well, thank you,
any-
Code and UA, for the commentary and tracking, because one of you was tracking.
Code was tracking. I was reminding him that he forgot to track at times.
Yeah. So,
Team effort.
yeah. Any final thoughts about the seed or the race?
GG Moshmo, we should do another one sometime.
That was a really low scaling seed for an hour and 10 minutes, and you're still only at 34 scaling. That was cursed.
We realized at like the hour mark, it was like Moshmo was still at like 27 scaling or something like that. It's like,
That's about right, yeah.
where's the rest of the key items in this game? Come on.
It's literally everything.
Thank you as always to Speedgaming for hosting our tournament. That is going to wrap us up for the evening. That's all I got. Until next time, we'll see you Sunday, or maybe sooner if Matchtrick and Mashma end up scheduling something sooner. We'll see. I'm not making any promises there because I don't know their schedules. But
Also, you know what I realized I don't think we ever saw Rillis. Does that mean she was on ESI?
Or in
Castle.
Or Joel. Never went in Joel.
Oh, that's
Or yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Castle.
okay.
Yeah, Joel
Yeah.
Zombie in the castle. One of those.
Right,
Yeah,
I
I
decided
I-
to seed, and I was looking, and I'm like, why am I missing so many towns? I'm almost done.
yeah.
I didn't look at any entrances in Sahara, did you?
Nope.
There was at least one blank door there.
If I followed logic, I wouldn't have been an oak either.
All right. That's going to wrap us up for this evening. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you Sunday, if not sooner. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.